What's up, guys? Recently on social media, people have been sharing some of the most compelling little pieces of information, little tidbits of wisdom and whatnot. And some of it kind of blows my mind. Some of it's stuff I've heard before, and I'm just like, hey, that's cool. Some people haven't heard of it. And I feel like a little bit compelled to try to do my part in sharing some of the cool things I've done. Sometimes I realize social media in our way is our community. And, if there's something you can do to bring something to the table, I feel like, hey, give it a shot, right? And so one of the things that has just been on the tip of my mind that I feel like if more people understood the power behind this, I feel like it could really help a lot of people, is the placebo effect, kind of understanding what's behind that and kind of how that works a little bit and whatnot. But essentially, for those who may not know, I'll talk a little bit. So the placebo effect, I've last bit of my career was kind of in the clinical trial space. Within clinical trials, when you have a new drug that's going to go commercial, you have to do a clinical trial on it. And ultimately what they do in that clinical trial, they'll get a group of people. So we'll say 12,000 people. 6,000 of those people will actually get the actual drug, the experimental drug, pharmaceutical drug itself. And 6,000 people will actually get a sugar pill. Neither of them will know what they're getting. So they don't know if they're getting the sugar pill or the real thing. And a lot of people who come to these clinical trials, it's kind of a last hope for them. They've tried everything usually, and they are willing to take a chance on something that might be risky, that we don't have the evidence for yet, but it's worth a shot because they haven't been able to find an answer. What's fascinating, and this goes to clinical trials across the industry, around 33% of the people that take the sugar pill, and remind you, they don't know they're taking the sugar pill, will actually significantly improve or heal themselves through the sugar pill alone. And like I said, these are people that have been searching for answers and have been unable to find it. This fascinates me because there is nothing in that pill that can heal them whatsoever. Their body created the chemistry necessary to overcome the disease or the elements that have been affecting them. What's crazy about that is, and here's a great example, the antidepressant drug Prozac, for example. In that clinical trial, it showed that the number of people that were able to significantly improve themselves or heal themselves by taking the pharmaceutical drug was almost the exact as the people taking the sugar pill. Here's the cool thing. This is a Harvard researcher. His name is Irving Kirsch. He published extensively on this. He found that 75 to 82% of the effectiveness of antidepressants can be attributed to the placebo effect, not the drug itself. And the antidepressants, this is just an example thing I'm using because I thought it was fascinating about how the placebo, the sugar pill, was almost just as effective. What's happening here is the belief that people are generating by taking the sugar pill, by actually thinking they're getting the real pharmaceutical drug, is pretty much like a beacon of hope for them. And their shift in belief is what's healing them. Their shift in belief is followed by an emotion that's felt by that belief itself. So a lot of people whom are going into these clinical trials obviously have a belief that, hey, there's something that's wrong with me that needs to be addressed. It's probably wearing them down. There could be sadness around it, anger, anxiety, fear. And when they go into this clinical trial and there's something that they feel is going to help me, and they generate this belief of hope, excitement, gratitude, they start to get these elevated emotions. 1/3 of them have been able to heal themselves. And so what's going on here, and another way we can kind of go a little bit deeper on this, each of those emotions is going to release a certain type of hormone within your body. And so the emotions of like fear, worry, concern, sadness, anxiety that they had leading up to this, clinical trial, that was releasing stress hormones in their body. And one thing we know in science is stress does kill. Those stress hormones that are released weaken your immune system and make it to where your body can't fight off anything and can't improve. And those elevated emotions of gratitude, excitement, happiness, hope, those release happy hormones. And we know that those hormones strengthen the immune system and give your body the proper chemistry to overcome these elements and diseases itself. And I feel like that's fascinating. If for anybody who might be going through anything, if you can understand that there are people out there who are shifting their belief in what's going on with them and how they can approach it and changing their emotional reaction that's tied to that belief, they're healing themselves. And maybe there's some hope for those that are dealing with something unique that might be able to use and harness this power that we innately have. Anyway, felt super compelled to share that. I think that's so fascinating. The placebo effect, for a lot of people, is a known thing, but we haven't unpacked that and start to kind of take down the layers to see what might be underneath that, making that possible. So I just wanted to share. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day. See ya.